morning, friends. My name Ruturaj, and today we are going to start our lecture number 5 on top of the chapter DC circuits. So, in this lecture, we will going to learn about star and delta transformation. Now, let us see what is star connection. Okay, so in this topic, we will talk about three resistances which will be connected in star as well as delta. So now I will show you how the star resistances are connected. Okay, so this is my star connection. It is denoted by this symbol, and talking about delta connection. Which is denoted by this symbol. This might recollect you about Squid Game. Okay, then this is my connection. Okay, so when three resistances are connected in this format, then we call it as delta connection. Now in this lecture we will learn how to transform any star connection into delta connection and vice versa. So please note this. We will move on for our first derivation. Okay, so now let us talk about our first derivation, which is delta to star. So let us draw a diagram of our circuit diagram. Okay. Okay. So there is a delta connection and there is a star connection in my diagram. Okay, so let us name it. This is my 1, 0.1, 0.2 and 0.3. Likewise, this is my 0.1, 0.2 and 0.3. Let us name the resistances. So this is my R12, this is my R23 and this is my R31 and this is my R1, R2 and R3. Okay, so here we are going to see how to convert this resistance format into this resistance format. So let us begin. So from delta connection diagram we can analyze that R12 is in parallel with R31, which is in series with R23. Okay, so R12 is in parallel with this entire thing. So let us write an equivalent resistance. R equivalent will be equal to 1 upon R12 plus 1 upon R31 plus R23. Okay, so on simplifying, we can get R equivalent as R12. Okay, I will just write R12 into R31 plus R12 into R23 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay. So likewise, from our star transformation diagram we can also see, so between terminal 1 and 2, this was for between 1 and 2 terminal. Now from star diagram we can also see between 1 and 2 terminal, this is from delta. Now let us talk about star diagram. So in this diagram between node 1 and node 2, R1 is in series with R2. So we can write R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2. This is between 1 and 2. So we want to convert this diagram into that another one, so we can equate this. Therefore we can write R1 plus R2 is equal to R12 into R31 plus R12 into R23 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, so similarly we can also write R2 plus R3 as R23 into R23 into R31 plus R23 into R12 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, and similarly we can also write R3 plus R1 as R3 R31 into R23 plus R31 into R12 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, so on subtracting these two equations we can get as R1 minus R3 will be equal to, we are subtracting these both equations, so let us carefully subtract them. While subtracting 31, I will just write it down. Okay, so this term will get cancelled out when we subtract these both, so finally we will get our answer as R12 into R31 minus R23 into R31 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, so this equation we obtained from subtracting these both things. So R1 plus R2 minus R2 plus R3 will give me R1 minus R3. Okay, so now on adding these both equations we can get R1 is equal to this term and this term will get cancelled out, and this term will get 2 times. So our final answer turns out to be 2 times R1 is equal to 2 times R1 to R31 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. So R1 is equal to R12 into R31 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, so please note this down. I am going to rub this part. So similarly we can also write R2 is equal to R23 into R12 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. And similarly I can also write R3 is equal to R31 into R23, this is R23 whole divided by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Okay, so please note this. Now next we will go on for a star to delta transformation. Okay, okay, so now let us move on for our star to delta transformation. So in previous derivation we had calculated this as our final conclusion. Now we will use this only formulas to derive how to convert a star to delta transformation. Okay, so let us move on. So first we will multiply R1 and R2, then we will get R1 R2 is equal to, we are multiplying these both terms, so R12 square. Okay, so we get our result as follows. We are multiplying. 1 2 will get square. Here we will get r2 3 into r3 1. Correct? Yes, correct. And divided by r1 2 plus r2 3 plus r3 1. The entire thing square. Likewise, further on solving, we will also get r2 into r3 as r2 3 the entire square into r12 into r3 1 whole divided by r12 plus r23 plus r3 1 the entire square, and by multiplying r3 into r1 is which will give me r31 whole square r12 into r32 r23. Okay, going correct? Yes, we are going correct. Whole divided by r12 plus r23 plus r31 the entire square. Okay. Okay. So now what is the next step? So in next step we will add all three equations. So on addition of all three equations, we will get a final result as r1 r2 plus r2 into r3 plus r3 into r1, which will be equal to, when we add all these terms, we will get a common r12 into r23 into r31 as a common thing. I will just write it r12 into r23 into r31 whole bracket r12 plus r23 plus r31 whole divided by r12 plus r23 plus r31 the entire square. We can take these three terms common from each of one, and now this and this will get cancelled out, and nextly we will also get one more thing. I will tell you. So consider only this thing. This thing is equal to r3. If I am not wrong, this entire thing is equal to r3. So because r3 is equal to r31 into r23 whole divided by this whole thing. So we can also write it as r1 into r2 plus r2 into r3 plus r3 into r1, which is equal to r12 into r3. Okay, I'll just rub up a part. Okay, so we are moving on here directly. So we will divide this r3 here. So we will get r1 r2 upon r3 plus r1 plus r2 is equal to r12. This is our first formula. Likewise, we can also derive r2 into r3 whole divided by r1 plus r2 plus r3 is equal to r23, and r3 r1 whole divided by r2 plus r3 plus r1 is also equal to r31. So this is for star and these are for delta. So finally we can convert any circuit from star to delta or delta to star using these 6 formulas. Please note this. Okay friends, thank you for watching the lecture. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.